Hey guys, so this is going to be, I believe, my fourth video to upload. In my very first video, I spoke about what all that I've been diagnosed with and what they meant, and just I barely touched on, some of the stuff that I suffer with. So I thought that I would go into a little bit more detail about like the process and where I've gotten to where I'm at today, what took me to here. So, when I was younger, about 10, maybe 11 years ago, um, I had meningitis and I was in the hospital for a week. Now, that may be completely unrelated, but it seems to be that ever since I had that, that is when all of my issues started after. I started having the body pain and I started having all kinds of things wrong with me, hurting, and I have read where um, trauma and physical trauma can lead to, especially fibromyalgia, but that is not proven for me, so I don't know for sure if that has anything to do with it. But ever since then, I struggled. I went to so many different doctors, different children's hospitals. I have lost count of the amount of times I've been in a CT machine to get scans. I have had 5 spinal taps in my 25 years. They are not fun. They're very painful. My senior year of school, of high school, I was on a limited schedule because where my doctor did believe I was in pain and was having trouble functioning, he didn't have a diagnosis for me. So I am thankful for that particular doctor because he did actually believe me. And I was only allowed to go to school from about 10:30 to 1. So essentially, I only had an English class and PE and health, and then lunch, and I did office work a different period, and that's all I did because I was blessed enough to be able to take advanced classes before my senior year, so I had all my credits in. But my issue that I came across was most of my doctors just kept telling me that it was in my head or that I was faking it, and I can understand like there's probably people that do want attention, younger kids that want attention, but I'm not going to sit there and struggle through 5 spinal taps and getting poked and prodded. It's really hard for people to get blood from me. I have very tiny veins, they're deep, and they move, rolling veins. So it's extremely hard to get blood from me. And I'm not going to sit there and go through all this torture. Like, it's torture to be traveling from one place to another and it not be for anything fun. It's to get poked and prodded by a doctor just for them to say that it's not real, it's all in your head, or to say that I'm still having growing pains. Like I'm 25, I've stopped growing, and even when they would then take a X-ray of my growth plates and see that they're fully grown, they would still say, well, maybe it's just residual pain left over from your bones settling. And I'm like, that no, this is not, this has got to be something more. So, my parents, they were extremely dedicated and determined to find out what was wrong with me. Now, I'm not saying that maybe they probably wondered from time to time, like, what in the world could this be? Why? It can't be what they're saying. I know I questioned it, like, why are these people not believing me? Why am I being told that I'm basically crazy? I literally had somebody tell me one time that I had a neurological issue and that it was all in my head. And granted, that is the definition of fibromyalgia, is that it is a nerve issue from up in your head and in your spinal cord. But that's not how he meant it. So, we did that for up until I turned 18. And when I turned 18, I was done. I was on all this medicine that didn't help. I was going to all these doctor's appointments that were completely pointless. And I didn't feel better. And I wanted to live my life. I'd spent my senior year of school being cooped up at home most of the time because I wasn't functioning. Um, so essentially, I asked my parents if they would allow me to make the decision to stop going to the doctors, and I did. I stopped going up until about 3 years ago. I finally got a primary care physician, and I hadn't had one probably since I was 17 or 18. And I got a primary care physician. I'm sorry, I can't talk. Got a primary care physician based off of a coworker. She told me that this lady, she's a nurse practitioner. She's super sweet. She's really caring and understanding. She's a great girl. And she's still to this day my primary care physician. And if it wasn't for her, I truly don't believe that I would be where I'm at now. Because she ran tests regularly. There's something. We're going to do this. Well, we're going to try this. And she's the one that finally figured out I needed to go to a rheumatologist, and my blood work had finally shown stuff up. And that's another thing. I can't fault the doctors too terribly much, because my blood work, as far as basic blood work, and the tests that they were running for showed that I was an extremely healthy person. Nothing came back abnormal. And that's common. That it's completely common for things to take a long time to show up. Rheumatoid arthritis actually most of the time doesn't show up 9 times out of 10 of people's blood work. I don't have rheumatoid arthritis, but that's just an example. And it's that way with a lot of autoimmune diseases. They don't show up. You have to be diagnosed by other factors. So my blood work actually came back as abnormal. I really gotta stop saying so much. I'm real sorry about that. But she saw that my blood work was abnormal, and she's like, we're gonna try and get you into this rheumatologist. So she referred me to one here in Jonesboro. And surprisingly, they got me in extremely fast. I expected to have to wait a year. And she referred me in February, and I think I had my first appointment in April, maybe? April or June. I got in pretty quick. She believed me. And I remember one time just crying in her office, and she probably thought that I was insane, but she had no clue the struggle I had been through to get to that point where someone believed me. And she's helped me just amazingly. She's such a sweet woman. And even to this day, if I just go for a basic checkup, she's amazingly supportive and listens and understands and checks in with my rheumatologist and gets notes sent to her from how I'm doing. But I just remember for so long no one believing me. And I can't say that I blame them. My sister, I'm sure she struggled with it, because I'm getting all this attention and nothing's coming out of it. And I don't know that for sure. I'm just saying, like, I would be a little jealous of somebody getting all this attention, family having to spend all this extra time to take her to this doctor's appointment and that doctor's appointment and worrying about it. And I could only imagine. And for people to be like, what's wrong with you? And I don't know. I'm not sure. So a lot of times you have to understand the struggle people go through just to get where they're at. I struggled for so long. I gave up when I turned 18. I gave up. They're not going to figure it out, and I'm not going to be their test subject anymore. And I remember when I got referred to this rheumatologist, I thought, I'm not getting my hopes up. I'm not going to expect a miracle. And I got a diagnosis within months. And it took me a long time to get a grasp on it. You know, I mentioned that in that first video, that it took me time. And that I almost went backwards. I almost got angry all over again. And I went through quite a transformation just in the years that I've had diagnoses, you know, with my endometriosis. That one was a couple years back. But I went through a pretty good transformation. And I'm not gonna lie, I used to be pretty angry. I mean, I'm sassy. There's no changing that. I'll always be sassy. It's in my blood. It's it's in my blood. But I was so angry. I would get mad easy. I would snap at people. Now, I have a big heart, and a lot of people would think, like, you're not mean. You know, you're just feisty, I guess. No, I was too much. You know, I've just sitting here thinking, even a year ago, I've calmed down so much. And I just don't understand why I let myself get to that point, because I don't want to be angry at. I was just angry. And I took it out on other people. Work, co-workers, just different things. I mean, I don't think that I was hateful, but I definitely got wound up easier than I should have. And it's so nice now to just have this weight off of acceptance, having an answer and accepting it. It's so euphoric, you have no idea. And that's a big part of just the sickness itself, is getting a grasp on it emotionally and mentally. And it's taken me a while. You know, I've went through a lot of physical and emotional pain to get here. And I know that this is just me, and I'm small town Arkansas, and I'm doing these horrible quality vlogs, but I just want to be able to help someone. You know, if I would have had someone that said, I know what you're going through, I understand, somebody my age to do that to me, I think it would have changed everything. And even I've had a few people reach out to me since I've been more open about it and be like, I know what you're going through. Well, why couldn't I have just said all this stuff to begin with? Maybe then I wouldn't have been so angry. Maybe then I wouldn't have struggled and kept all this stuff bottled up. I'm just, you know, it took me a long time. It took me a long time to get to where I am. It took 10 years of pain and doctors thinking that I'm insane and telling me that I'm wrong and that there's nothing there. It's taken being denied by the Mayo Clinic because my blood work shows that I'm a healthy person. You know, if somebody says they're hurting, don't just automatically assume that they're being dramatic or that they want attention. And even if they do want attention, there's obviously a reason behind it. They're reaching out for something. So I'm just so blessed to be able to get to this point. And I know that if I struggled for that long, that there's got to be other people that struggle or are still struggling. And I want to be there for them, and I want to help them. Whether it is related to their health, whether they have something personal going on, you just never know what people are going through. And I just know that it's taken me so long, and I went through so many different outlets, not horrible ones. I mean, I've never resorted to like harmful things, but I definitely could have handled things so much better. And it's so amazing just to even sit back and see myself from a year ago. I couldn't be here without the people that are in my life and have basically saved me. And I couldn't be here without God, because he stood by me even when I questioned him. And my parents stood by me when I would be angry, and I would sit there and not tell anyone when I was hurting, because when I tell them, they don't believe you. And I just never thought that I'd be free. I mean, obviously I still have pain, so much pain, but I'm free. I'm not angry, and I'm not blaming myself anymore. And that's just a world in itself of difference. And like I said, I want to be able to help people. I want y'all to just share the living crap out of these videos, no matter how poor quality they are, because you just never know. You really never know why somebody acts the way they do. And, you know, sometimes I sit there and when I sit down to really stop and think, when people are hateful or petty or dramatic or mean, and I'll think, what has gotten them to be that way? Nobody would have guessed that the reason I was snippy and high strung, I mean, I'm high strung, but like really high strung, would be because I was in pain and didn't think I could talk about it. So just always try to have an open mind and open heart. Be there for people. Share this. Maybe it'll touch someone, anyone. I can pray for them. I can be there for them. My phone is open. If somebody needs me, I'm there. I mean, I've had friends call me in the middle of the night, and I'm going to be there. Even if you're a stranger, if you say, listen, I saw your video and I need someone, I want to be that person. And I really hope that anybody that watches this is willing to share it on any type of social media. Subscribe, because I'm going to try and do more videos, some more personal, some just informative, some both. I'm going to eventually learn to stop saying but you never know what your one small act can do to someone or affect them. Is it going to push them over the edge and make their day worse, or is it going to give them a glimmer of hope? So that's pretty much all I've got. I'm sorry that I started to get emotional, but it's been a long struggle, and it's probably going to take me a long time to get really deep into it. I'm getting to where I can open up more and more. So be prepared for the full tea eventually, and hopefully I can get through it without starting to tear up. So thanks for watching. If you've watched this long, I know it's kind of a long video, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Please share this, and stay positive, stay happy, and that's it. Bye.